Om Pathaya Pratibodhitam. Om Pathaya Pratibodhitam. Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam. Vyasena Grathitam. Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaita Mritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. So we all bow down to Gita, which is like Amba, that is Mother, which was taught by Sri Krishna himself, Narayana himself to Arjuna, and which has been incorporated into the Mahabharata by the great sage Vyasa. So you have the Gita with you. We have already covered 10 verses. So we will chant the first 7 verses first together, and then the next ones. So together please. Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samavetaayuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. Sanjaya Uvacha Drishtva tu Pandavanikam Vyudam Duryodhanastada Acharyamupasanghamya Raja Vachanamabravit Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudam Drupadaputrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha Drishtaketuschekitana Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Shaivyascha Narapungavaha Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta Uttamaujascha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharatha Asmakam tu Vishishtaye Tannibodhadvijottama Nayaka Mama Sainyasya Sangyartham Tan Bravimite. So 7th to 10th we had done last time. So first Duryodhana names all the great warriors of the Pandavas before Dronacharya. Now in the 7th verse he says, now I shall tell you about the warriors of our army. And he first mentions the name of Dronacharya himself, Bhavan, even before Bhishma. We have seen that. So Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwatthama, others, Jayadratha, etc. he mentions. Then he says, there are many heroes, they have dedicated their lives for my sake. They are experts in all kinds of warfare. And last of all, he says that this army of ours, under the complete protection of Bhishma, is verily unlimited. But the army of the enemies, under the protection of Bhima, is limited. So this we had done last time. So we can chant verses 8 to 9 together. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitinjaya Ashwatthama Vikarnascha Saumadattistatthaivacha Anye cha bahava shura Madarthe tyakta jivita Nana shastra praharana Sarve yuddha visharada Aparyaptam tadasmakam Balam bhishma virakshitam Paryaptam tvidame tesham Balam bhima virakshitam. So today we'll start from the verse number 11. So verse number 11, please repeat after me. Ayaneshu tu sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthita Ayaneshu tu yatha Bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavantah sarva eva hi Bhirakshantu bhavantah. So now he has told that our army is unlimited. And the army of the Pandavas is limited. So now the question arises, Dronacharya may ask, so if you are so confident of victory, then why are you prattling so much? First you are naming the warriors of Pandavas, telling about their great prowess. Now you are telling that Pandavas are nothing compared to you. So why are you speaking so much? What is the use? As if Dronacharya, he may say like that. So now Duryodhana changes the course of his. He is applying all kinds of psychological nonsense. So now he changes the way. What does he say? That what I want you to do is anticipating Dronacharya's question, that why are you speaking so much unnecessarily? So he says, no, I am not speaking unnecessarily. What I want you to do, please listen. So this is what he is telling, what he wants us to do, the Kauravas. What? Sarveshu ayaneshu cha. Ayana means path. We have seen that. Ramayana means the path of Rama. All these words are there. Uttarayana is, and Dakshinayana, where the soul goes after death, the ways. So Sarveshu ayaneshu, on all the roads, Yatha bhagam avasthita, where everybody is stationed. Avasthita means station. All of the army, wherever you are kept, because they had this vyuha, means a definite arrangement. Bhavanta sarva evahi, all of you. Bhavanta means all the respected warriors. What should they do? Bhishmam eva abhirakshantu. Everybody, wherever he is, from there, he should protect Bhishma. So we will see what is the meaning of this. So the translation of the whole verse is, all you venerable sirs, without exception, while occupying all the positions in the different directions allotted to you, please protect Bhishma by all your power, with all your might. So the word tu is there here, but. So this means suggestive of a particular duty. So now I have said all this. Now, but now what should you do? You should do this. So the positions at which the shoulders should remain stationed, which at the time of commencing a war allotted to them on the battlefield in the order of their ranks, according to different directions, east, west. So all these positions where they will be, those are called ayanas, paths, because enemy can attack from any direction. No? So one particular warrior is stationed at the north. So these are ayanas. So you are stationed at ayanas means you are stationed at all these positions. And the commander-in-chief, the Senapati, who is leading the entire army, stays in the middle. So all these people are surrounding him. That being so, Bhavanta Sarve, all of you, occupying your positions without leaving your positions as allotted to you, Abhirakshantu, please protect. Protect whom? Bhishma eva. Bhishma in particular, because Bhishma will be busy fighting, so he will not be looking at the front or back or at the sides. So when the commander-in-chief Bhishma, Senapati, when he is protected, everything will be well protected. That is the thing. And he knows, Duryodhana knows, what? Bhishma adhino mama jaya. My victory is dependent on Bhishma and Dronacharya and these two or three persons, Kripacharya. If something happens to them, it is finished. But now the question is, a very pertinent question, why does he think that the great warrior, the greatest practically, Bhishma, needs protection at all? Because he was well aware of Bhishma's bravery and skill. Bhishma could not be defeated, he knew. In Mahabharata earlier, when Dhritarashtra was worrying, Pandavas will defeat us and all that, so Duryodhana himself had told Dhritarashtra that don't worry. Why? Because we have Bhishma on our side. So he had told him, Sa Bhishma susamarthoyam asmabhi sahito rane paran vijetu tasmate vyetu bhi bharatarshava. So he had told him that Susamartha, Bhishma, is more than capable of ensuring our victory. How? Don't you remember, he said, when he had gone to Varanasi, Kashi, to abduct those three princes, so many kings had joined up against him. And Bhishma, with his single chariot, he had defeated everybody. So he told Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana had told himself that don't be afraid, give up your fear. Bhishma is there with us. So now, why does he think that Bhishma, whom maybe 100 kings could not defeat, why does he think that Bhishma needs protection? So answer is also given by Duryodhana. Earlier in the Mahabharata, he told Dushasana the reason for this. What is the reason? We all know. So what he told Dushasana is, Abravicha Vishuddhatma Naha Hanya Shikhandinam Shruyate Stri Yasau Purvam Tasmat Varjyo Rane Mama. So Duryodhana had told Dushasana what? That Abravit, Bhishma had told me what? I will not fight Shikhandi. Why? Shruyate Stri Hi Asau Purvam. Purva means before. In his previous birth, he was a woman. That Amba actually had been born as Shikhandi in order to kill Bhishma. So since he had been a woman in his previous birth, even if he comes in front of me, I will not fight. Now Duryodhana says, Arakshamanam vivriko hanyat singha mahabalam ma simha jambukena eva dhatayama shikhandina. So he says, even if a lion is unprotected, a jackal may cause it harm. So Shikhandi, if he comes, he will keep on firing missiles, but Bhishma won't retaliate. So in that case, it will be like a jackal killing a lion. But we cannot let that happen. So everybody, all of you, first try to kill Shikhandi, if you can. Then all the danger will be gone. And at least you protect Bhishma from all sides. So now, this is the reason why Duryodhana was afraid. And he told everybody to protect Bhishma. So now we have seen, right from the beginning, only Duryodhana has been talking. Dronacharya has not even uttered a word in reply. As if he is not there, Duryodhana is not there, as if. Now Bhishma is hearing everything. He is there. So now he says this Duryodhana is speaking, but he is completely ignored by Dronacharya. So I should do something to encourage him, lift up his spirits. Why Bhishma thinks like this, we will see. That is a wonderful insight. So what did he do in order to raise Duryodhana's spirits? He says, next verse, please repeat after me. 12th. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vriddha pitamaha Singhanadam vinadyochai Shankham dadumau pratapavan. So, Harsham Sanjanayan. Jana, you know, Janayati means giving birth to, giving rise to. Giving rise to what? Harsha. Enthusiasm. So in order to arouse Harsha in Duryodhana, Kuru Vriddha, the great elderly Bhishma among the Kurus, elderly, Pratapavan, the great warrior Bhishma, valiant Bhishma. What did he do? Uchchai Singhanadam. He roared like a lion. It was a battle, it was not a party. So he roared like a lion. And what did he do? Shankham dadhmau. He blew his shankha, that is the conch shell. So the valiant Kuru, grandfather, so to say, grandsire, the eldest of the Kurus, eldest in the sense, there were people elder than him only, we have discussed that. But he was a class in himself. Loudly sounding a lion roar, blew the conch to raise Duryodhana's spirits. So we have seen that Bhishma was hearing everything, and he knew that Duryodhana is just trying to cover his fear of the Pandavas. He was taking refuge in Dronacharya and all that was just to get rid of his fear. And all this which he is telling, our army is infinite and their army, all this is hypocrisy. And Drona knew all this. He knew the nature of Duryodhana. That is all, he will talk something, mean something else. So he was not even replying. So seeing this, Bhishma let out this roar. Now, Harsha. Harsha we know, joy. But everything, every term, these commentators explain. So what is Harsha? What we call joy. Buddhigatam ullasa vishesham. A particular kind of ullasa means enthusiasm, which penetrates the mind. That is Harsha. So when we feel joyful, if somebody says, oh, free pizzas are given, we will go running in great joy. And this Bhishma, when he let out that roar and blew his conch shell, what does it mean? Swavijaya Suchakam Janayan. Swavijaya Suchakam. So, he wanted to reassure the Kauravas that don't worry, I am there, we will all win. That's why he let out that roar and blew his conch shell. And another function was there, what? If two fighters are there, one will roar, then other, if he is a little weak, he'll be frightened. So he thought, if I'll do this, two things will happen. First, my warriors, Kauravas, will be more enthusiastic and the Pandavas will be afraid. So, because of his prowess, there was blowing of the conch, following a loud lion roar for generating fear in the enemy. As in the jungle, when the lion lets out a roar, every animal is afraid. So this is one thing. Another significance is, see, Bhishma was the Senapati, he was the commander-in-chief. So, in a war, when this is blown, like olden times they sounded the bugle. So what does it mean? It means that let's start the war. So Pandavas were peaceful people. They thought even at the last moment some miracle may happen, Duryodhana may change. So we don't want to start the war. So it was the Kauravas actually who started it. And actually Bhishma's roaring is a challenge to the Pandavas. Okay, come, let's see who faces me. Now the thing is, we may wonder, a very significant insight I got from our revered Ram Sukdas ji. So he gives a wonderful reason that why Bhishma knew Duryodhana is an evil fellow. Is it not? All the misdeeds he had done, Bhishma knew. He had tried to stop him also, but naturally nothing happened. So now, why does Bhishma want to raise the enthusiasm of Duryodhana? There is no reason. He had tried to dissuade Duryodhana from war also. Now why is he suddenly trying to? Because, on the other hand, Dronacharya is not even caring. He is just telling, let him speak nonsense. He completely ignores. So why these two types of behavior? So very significant thing. Ram Sukdas ji says what? The relation between Drona and Duryodhana was of Guru Shishya. Guru Shishya's knowledge is only because of attachment, because of knowledge. There is no attachment there. So if the Shishya does something wrong, Guru will scold him. He does not care whether he likes his Guru or not. If you don't like, go. But you have to do what is good for you. So Dronacharya does not care. But the relation between Bhishma and Duryodhana was of family. Family relations are based on attachment. So many times we see sons are doing all bad things, the father and mother keep on supporting him. Why? Because, like Dhritarashtra was doing. Why? Because they are blinded by attachment. They cannot see correctly. So Bhishma, in spite of all these things which Duryodhana had done, still he tries to raise his enthusiasm. He should have tried to stop the war, maybe some last minute, but no. So this is how deep attachment goes. So wonderful. He throws the light on this. So Bhishma blew his conch. Now, what happened after that? That is verse number 13. So 13 and 13 is very 13 and 14 are very simple. So please repeat after me verse number 13. Tata shankascha bheryascha parnavanaka gomukha sahasaivaabhyahanyanta sashabdastumulo bhavat. So tata shankha cha bherya cha. In sandhi it becomes shankhascha bheryascha. And what? Panavanaka and gomukha. What happened? Sahasa eva abhyahanyanta. And sa shabda, that sound, tumula abhavat. That is the sandhi breakup. So now, what is the meaning? Shankha cha bherya cha. Cha means and. Shankha, conch shells. Bherya, bheri, big. All this. Yeah, so that is called kettle drums. Huge things sounded in many kings, courts, and many other things also. To announce something. आ रहे हैं राजा महाराजा all this step below.
शिव जी का हाथ में जो होता है शिंगा वो ही सेम है.
No. Shivji is डमरू.
शिंगा की त्रिशूल होता है. त्रिशूल तो होते हैं.
What is there in Shivji's hand? Other things?
नहीं, sometimes he blows शिंगा बोलते हैं. I don't know in Bengali.
The long one.
No. This is different. Kettle drums are different. So bheri, so it becomes plural. Bherya cha and what? Padavanaka and gomukha. So these are all names of instruments. So drums, all kinds of drums, horns, etc. All these were blown. And how they were blown? Sahasa eva. Sahasa means suddenly, immediately. Nobody waited. As soon as Bhishma sounded, everybody, because he was the Senapati, he was the commander in chief. So they have to follow him. As soon as he started, they knew, okay, time has come. Get ready for battle. So everybody supported him, joined him in creating this. So what happened? Shabda, that sound, tumula, terrible. It was resounding. There's a huge army, they are all blowing and beating their drums and all. So that sound was tumultuous, absolutely terrible. So the translation of the verse is, just immediately after that, conchs and kettle drums and trumpets and horns and tabors were blared forth. That sound was terrific. Tata, tata means after. After what? After Bhishma's blowing. Different kinds of instruments blared forth means Abhyahanyanta. The leader has sounded the bugle, and this was the signal to all other warriors. So the idea is that all this was done to make the enemy scared. But tathapi na pandavanam shobho jata. Even after doing all this, pandavanam na jata. Na jata means did not arise. What? Shobha means fear. After doing all this also, there was no fear in the Pandavas. So, in Sanskrit, if you want a little explanation, Panava Anaka Gomukha cha Vadya Vishesha means they are all different kinds of instruments. Sahasa eva means Tat Kshanam eva. At that very moment, as soon as Bhishma blew. Abhyahanyanta means Vadita, means they were blown. Sacha Shankhadi Shabda Tumula means Mahan, terrible sound, huge sound. Abhavat. So now see, when we started the Gita, what did Dhritarashtra ask? Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsava. Then he asked, what? Mamaka, my sons, and Pandava. Kim Akuruvata. What did they do? So till here, till this verse, Sanjay is answering the first question. What did the sons of Dhritarashtra do? Straight from the Sanjay Vacha Dishtva tu Pandavanikam, seeing the Pandavas' army, Duryodhan went to Dronacharya. Right from there till here. That now after Bhishma has blown, everybody is blowing their instruments. Now we'll start the answer to the second question. What? Now what did the Pandavas do? So what did the Pandavas do? We will see in this verse. It's a very simple verse, but it has a story connected with it, which we will see. So please repeat after me this verse number 14. Tata shvetair hayair yukte mahati syandane sthitau madhava pandavaschaiva divyau shankau pradadmatu. So now tatah, then what happened? Shvetai hayai yukte. Shveta means, white. Hayai means with the horses, yoked with the horses, white horses. Yukte means joined. Mahati. Mahati means great. Syandane sthitau. Being seated in the great. What? Syandane means chariot. Madhava. Pandava. Cha. Eva. Madhava. Pandava. Chaiva means Madhava. Pandavas. Chaiva. Madhava we all know. Shri Krishna. Pandava, particular Pandava, that is Arjuna, what did they do? Divyau Shankau Pradadmatu. So, those who have read a little Naran Narau, Nara. So it is dual. So Divyau means, in Sanskrit what happens, if there is an adjective before any word, then the case ending of that word, the adjective also will be in that same case ending. So Shankau means two Shankas of Krishna and Arjuna, they blew. And what were the Shankas like? Divine, Divyau. So the Divya is an adjective of Shankha. So since Shankha is in dual, Divya will also be in dual. Divyau Shankau Pradadmata means, Pradadmatu means they blew. So now when they have started this, so why should the Pandavas be behind? No question comes. You are ready, we are also ready. Don't worry. Don't think we'll back out. So the translation of the verse is, then Madhava and son of Pandu, Arjuna, stationed in their magnificent chariot with white horses yoked to it, loudly blew their divine Shankhas. So Madhava, you know, is Krishna, but how is the term derived? What does it mean? Ma here stands for Lakshmi. Ma is another name for Lakshmi. And Dhava means her husband. So husband of Lakshmi, it is Narayana Krishna. So now others are also stationed in their chariots. Everybody is in their chariots. But here it has been specially said that magnificent chariot. Mahati. Mahati means great, magnificent. Now, why is this specially said of the chariot of Arjuna only? To point out the special features of that chariot. It was not an ordinary chariot. It was extraordinary. How? Sarvatha jetum ashakyat. Because it was sarvatha, by any means. Jetum means to conquer. When somebody is sitting in that chariot, ashakya, it was impossible. If somebody had that chariot, it was practically impossible to defeat it. Such was the speciality of the chariot. So what can be said of the chariot which was being driven by God in human form, and on which stood the greatest warrior on earth, Arjuna, and on the flag of which was stationed the greatest of all devotees, Hanuman. So the idea is that being stationed in the indestructible chariot, who gave this chariot to Arjuna? This was given by Agni Devata, by the god of fire. So it was invincible. Now we will see what is the story behind that chariot. So now a wonderful insight again from our revered Ram Sukdas ji. He says, it may be asked, Bhishma was the commander-in-chief of the Kaurava army, Senapati. So it was proper for Bhishma to blow the conch first. He is the leader. But here, in the case of the Pandavas, who is the Senapati? Short memory, my goodness. Pandava, the Senapati, is Drishtadyumna. Command is the son of Drupad. So Drishtadyumna is the Senapati of Pandavas. So in answer to Bhishma's blowing the conch, he should have blown the conch. Is it not? But how come Krishna is blowing the conch?
Go ahead.
So his answer is wonderful. His answer is, whatever position in the army or anywhere God occupies, he will always be the most important. Who is more important than God? So whoever is commanding, that is just a formality. But Krishna, Shri Krishna, was without doubt the most important person in the Pandava army. And actually he was the real commander. Any difficulty, anything, everybody had got to Krishna only. How to get rid of Dronacharya? Go to Krishna. How to get rid of Bhishma? Go to Krishna. Without him, they would certainly have lost. There is no doubt. He saved the Arjuna's life twice. Once he took the arrow meant for Arjuna on his chest. Another time when Karna shot the arrow straight at Arjuna's throat, Krishna jumped up and
Take it down.
pushed the chariot so that Arjuna became lower and the arrow hit his. Yeah. So twice he saved the life directly. Otherwise, Arjuna would have gone before. So the thing is here, God is the most important wherever he may be, whatever job he may do, whatever position he may occupy, doesn't matter. And another thing, whenever a really great person does even an ordinary job, by the power of his personality, he makes that position acquire greatness. By his personality, that position, which may be of a lower, Sarthi is just driving the chariot. Of course, he is very important, but he is lower than the warrior. But here, whatever position God, such a person, an extraordinary person occupies, he makes that position great. So we know that when Swami Vivekananda was wandering through all India, unknown, not even a penny in his pocket, nothing, wandering monk, he received homage from all he met. How? His personality was such. He need not have any position or any such. He is a man of God. Everybody, that I mentioned the incident that K. Subramaniam Iyer, Swamiji had gone to his house, his son opened the door. He saw Swamiji, ran back. So his father asked, who has come? He said, a king has come. So Krishna became the Sarathi, and due to him, even the position of the Sarathi became great. So wonderful light which saints throw. Now we will end with the story behind this chariot. How did this chariot came to be in Arjuna's possession? And we have seen that the god of fire had given this chariot. So what had happened? Yeah, so we will go back to the Adi Parva of the Mahabharata, right at the beginning. And Arjuna has returned to Indraprastha after marrying Subhadra. That is the position. Now, one day what happened? It was summer. Even in those times, the heat of summer was terrible in India. So, what happened? One day in the morning, before sunrise, Arjun went to Krishna. They were Sakha, they just like friends, and of course also they were relatives. So Arjuna said to Krishna, Krishna, the heat is unbearable. Let us go on the banks of the river Yamuna. It is so near. Let us spend the day there and return home in the evening. So in the Mahabharata is there, all the ladies also went and they had their bath and all in the river, etc., because it was very hot. So Krishna welcomed the suggestion and they all went. They got Yudhishthir's permission and all set out for the banks of the river where there was a great forest. What was the forest? Khandava. It was said that the rays of the sun could not penetrate into the forest. So dense was the growth of the trees. It was inhabited by wild animals and it was the home of the serpent king. Who is the king of the serpents? Takshak. Takshak is the one who ended the life of Parikshit. That Takshak is the king of serpents. So now they went and the sun reached the high heavens. It was almost noon. They had all finished their repast. The rest of the party were in tents because it was very hot. Krishna and Arjuna went along the banks of the river again. And they were mesmerized by seeing that great, huge forest. From the banks of the river, it could be seen very clearly. So they sat on a tree trunk in a grove just on the border of the forest. You cannot go inside, all sorts of wild animals are there. So when they were seated comfortably, one Brahmin came to them. But he was not an ordinary human being. His whole body was glowing like gold. His beard was red. His eyes were red. He himself looked all red as if the rising sun had come. So Krishna and Arjuna immediately realized he is not an ordinary person. They immediately got up in honor and asked him, because it is the duty of the king. If a Brahmin comes, he should ask, what do you need? What can I do for you? So the Brahmin, they asked, what can we do for you? Brahmin said, I am very hungry. You must satisfy my hunger. So they said, no problem, just tell us and we will have the food prepared for you. What kind of food do you like? So Brahmin said, ordinary food cannot satisfy me because I am Agni. I am the god of fire. For a long time I have been waiting for your coming and I have been told about you. I know that you are the only two people who can satisfy my hunger. So what did he want for food? Agni wanted the whole Khandava Vana, the whole Khandava forest for food. He wanted to burn the whole forest. So he said, now why did Agni want that Khandava as food? That is also a story. We are expert storytellers. So it is said that there was one king who had given the sacrifices to Agni ghee 12 years. So because of that, Agni had an upset stomach. So now he wanted this Khandava so that he could be fit again. So Agni said, this forest is the home of Takshak, that king of serpents. And Indra, the god of thunder, was somehow related to Takshak. So he says, whenever I try to burn it, this Indra sends down a heavy shower of rain. So the fire is put off. Now you are both great warriors and you are familiar with all the divine weapons. Now what you have to do is, when I start swallowing this forest, you have to ward off the rain by your arrows. So don't let rain come. This is what I want. This is the boon I want. So Krishna and Arjuna were amazed at this unusual request. But a Brahmin, Agni Devta has come, they cannot say no. So Arjuna said, okay, no problem. You have told us that I have divine weapons. And of course, Shri Krishna also has that. We can easily ward off the rain sent by Indra. But although I have divine weapons, I don't have a powerful enough bow with which I can fire those weapons. You may have some big shell, but you need a tank also, no, to fire that shell. If you don't have then what is the use of that shell? So he said, I need a very strong bow, and it should be divine to make our task easy. Another thing is, Indra is the god of rain and thunder. He is firing arrows from his heaven, and he has an infinite arsenal. But what do you have? You must have seen the photos. Tarkash means it was a round thing. How many arrows it can contain? Maybe 100, 200, not more than that. So Arjuna said, I will run out of arrows. So you have to give some means of divine container so that inexhaustible arrows I will have. So I need quiver from which arrows will flow endlessly. So he's asking for everything, leaving nothing. Bow, this quiver. Then he says, my chariot also is not quick or powerful enough. The horses in my chariot must be the fastest in the world if I have to succeed in this defense of the forest against the king of heavens. So I assure you I can help you if only you can furnish me with these things. Krishna does not need help. He has everything. He is God himself. So Agni appreciated the arguments. He said, yes, you are correct. So Agni called Varuna, another god, Lord of the oceans. He said, Varuna, you have a divine bow given to you by Soma. Also 2 quivers which can never become empty. Give them to Arjuna. That bow is called, what is the name of that bow? Gandiva. Yeah. Gandiva Dhari Arjuna. So, please also give him a chariot with the fastest horses in the world. Today Arjuna is going to perform a great deed with the help of Krishna. So please give these to Arjuna. So Varuna, of course, he must have been Agni's friend, so he said, okay, I will give everything. He went and brought a beautiful bow for Arjuna. It was famed throughout the world and the other worlds also by the name of Gandiva. It was gifted with rare powers. No warrior who owned it could meet with defeat. It was extremely beautiful. Then Varuna also brought 2 quivers of arrows. It would be endless supply. And a chariot was also brought. So Divyo Shankho Pradadmatu Mahati Sandanena, great chariot. This chariot was brought. The flag on the chariot was the emblem of a monkey that we all know. Hanumanji himself was there. 4 horses, white horses, were yoked to the chariot. They flew faster than wind or even the mind. Whose phone is ringing? So this was the chariot which helped. Actually, this chariot was in the fight between gods and demons. This was the chariot which the devas, gods, had used to win their battle. So this chariot glowed like a new cloud lit up by the sun. And the noise made by the chariot when it travelled thrilled Arjuna. He was greatly overjoyed. So Arjuna was overcome with gratitude and happiness, and he bowed down before Agni, who had favored him, and then he made what is called a pradakshina. Pradakshina means they go around mentally worshipping as a sign of respect. Pradakshina of the chariot. He took up the great Gandiva in his hand, after also saluting, making pranams to the bow, and he strapped the 2 quivers on his shoulders. As you know, it is behind. Then he prostrated before the god of fire and then said, "We are ready." And then Agni started burning the khanda one, and Indra tried his best to put out the fire, but because of Arjuna and Krishna, he could not do so. So Agni burnt up the whole fire. Now, Takshak was also residing there with his family, king of the serpents. So the son of Takshak was being burnt, and Takshak's wife, she died saving her son. So Takshak was terribly angry on Arjuna because it is because of him it had happened. These are just stories. So now he tried to kill Arjuna once, but he could not do so. But later he got his revenge by killing the grandson of Arjuna. Yeah, Parikshit. Of course, stories. So this is how Arjuna got this divine chariot.
Indra was the godfather of Arjuna.
Yeah, but these are difficult to answer. You can ask Indra why did he. I was not there at that time. So he blew his conches. The name of the conch of Krishna was Panchajanya. The name of the conch of Arjuna was Devadatta. Then as soon as they blew, everybody else also, Bhima, etc. Yudhishthira's conch was Ananta Vijaya, Nakula, Sahadeva, all these people blew their conches. So when Bhishma blew, the Pandavas were not afraid. But when Pandavas blew, we will see what happened. So let us stop here.
So what Panchajanya?
Panchajanya, that is the name of the conch.
Any more meaning to it?
Panchajanya, Pancha is 5.
I think it is 5 spikes.
So maybe I have to see if there is any particular meaning about this word. There may be, because every Sanskrit word is, some meaning is there.
Thank you.
So let us stop here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna